Hello and welcome to Celtic Roots Radio, coming to you today from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Celtic, folk, folk rock, Appalachian, bluegrass, Scottish, Irish, Breton, Cajun. If it's Celtic or roots music you like, you'll find it here on Celtic Roots Radio.
Right, here we are again, back with another show at long last. Hope you're ready for some great new music, because that's what we've got for you right now. We started off with a song there from Debbie Zepick, up in British Columbia, Canada, and Bend Like a Willow. Mike Espinosa emailed from California. Hi Raymond, my name is Mike from Temecula, California, a small vineyard town between San Diego and Los Angeles. I make a 90-mile drive to San Pedro, California from my home every day. When you're spending 1.5 hours in the car in good traffic, what's on the radio becomes very important. I love listening to your show and learning a little bit about the Irish language between enjoying some great music. I find myself looking forward to the drive far more to discover what new song you have in store. Thanks for making my drive enjoyable. Keep it up. And we've had a couple of new 5-star reviews in iTunes USA as well. Safari Cat says, "It will raise your spirits and bring a smile to your face. Such a wonderful thing they've got going here. Keep it up." And Oxboy777 says, "Excellent, informative, and of course great music. This podcast is amazing. With me being partly Irish, I always did like the culture and old folk music of Ireland, especially when somebody decided to rock those tunes out. This podcast has all that, and also the DJ, Raymond, is always there to make the music even better. Raymond is not only a DJ with a good story or two, he tells you of old Irish traditions and history. If you like any Celtic music, this is a good podcast to add to your library." Well, high recommendation indeed. Thank you both. And Sebastian, from somewhere in Canada, sent us a message via Podomatic to ask, "Hi, I would love to know where the image of your last podcast was taken and what does it represent? An ancient church, house, cemetery? I'm so happy to have found your podcast. I really love it. Please keep up the great work." Actually, I was wondering if someone would be intrigued enough to ask that question, so I'm glad you did, Sebastian. And you scored 2 out of 3. It's a small ancient graveyard in the heart of County Down, officially called Killygarton Old Graveyard, beside the Killygarton River, and it dates back to around 400 AD, when there used to be a church there as well. It's known locally as the Priest's Grave, and you can see the stone pillar there, between the trees, which marks the old grave of a well-known local priest, Father McCartan. Right, more great music now. We've had a whole clatter of great new songs and tunes submitted recently through our sonicbids.com gig opportunity, and they keep coming. You can always check those out on our 24/7 Celtic Roots Radio station at live365.com. We're going to stay up in Canada, but travel right over to the eastern side, to Prince Edward Island, and a band called Lazy Jacks. Lazy Jacks being a way of rigging the mainsail on a boat. First we had a jig called Irishman's Heart to the Ladies, and this is a well-known maiden, Mason's Apron. That was Becky Bishop from Oregon, USA, with a gutsy rock song called The Fine Line. Now, usually I talk a lot about how we say or do things here in Northern Ireland. I thought maybe I'd take a break from that and travel across the border to Ireland's main city, Dublin. Apart from being in a different country and a major city with well over 1 million people, Dublin has quite a different accent and even way of talking. You'll probably notice things if you're driving from Northern Ireland down to Dublin, as we'd say up here. Dublin people think everyone comes up to Dublin, despite the fact that it's mostly at sea level and in the middle of the country from north to south. The first thing is you'll not really see any border between UK and Ireland. Way back before EC membership there used to be customs posts, and during the Troubles there were British Army and Garda checkpoints. But those have disappeared since most of us decided to live in peace with one another. Now the only thing you'll see is a welcome sign for the county you're crossing into. For example, from County Down to County Louth, then County Meath, then County Dublin. When you drive in the USA, you get used to seeing signs giving the population of a town in the last census. In the south of Ireland, you'll see a sign giving the number of people who were killed in the roads last year in that county. I don't know if that says much about Irish drivers or not, but it does give you pause for thought when you pass one. You might even drive more carefully for a while. Dublin has two names. The first comes from the Irish words for black pool, Dovling in Irish, anglicised to Dublin. But if you visit there you'll see another name, Boileau of Claith, on the buses and road signs, which means place of the wattles in Irish. Both obviously refer to the River Liffey, which divides the city into north and south side. Dublin is also a county of Ireland, but has recently been divided into three parts. Dublin City Council in the centre, with County Fingal to the north, and Dunleary Rathdown County to the south, which means that the Republic of Ireland now has 28 counties instead of 26, and the whole island of Ireland has 34 counties, not 32, as most people think. We're listening to an Australian artist now, Pete Hawkes from Canberra, and Celtic Hornblower.
Life's a little harder without you by my side. I miss having someone in whom I confide. But I have not forgotten your kindness, and I still recall all the times we laughed. After all of these years, you're still a good friend of mine. And I could pull a few strings, land back into your life. But if I had to force it, I don't think it would be right. I miss you dearly, think of you often and sincerely. I hope I see you again. You're 1,000 different faces in 1,000,000 different places. You're a part of me I had to leave behind. I'll tell my children all about my junior prom, how we danced hand in hand until midnight. Though we never danced again after that night, it's alright, you're still a good friend of mine. And I could pull a few strings, land back into your life. But if I had to force it, I don't think it would be right. I miss you dearly, think of you often and sincerely. I hope I see you again. You're 1,000 different faces in in a million different places. You're a part of me I had to leave behind. When being crazy in love wasn't worth it, we said goodbye. Mentioned staying in touch, we tried. But don't you worry, when I look back on all my life, you'll be a good friend of mine. And I could pull a few strings, land back into your life. But if I had to force it, I don't think it would be right. I miss you dearly, think of you often and sincerely. I hope I see you again. Well, every memory's a happy dream that I can share with those around me. You live on in photographs, you're part of my story. You're 1,000 different faces in a million different places. You're a part of me I had to leave behind. I miss you dearly, think of you often and sincerely. I hope I see you again. Yes, I hope I see you again.
That was Jenna Tague from out there in Hawaii, USA, and a great song called Good Friend of Mine. Despite all the street signs in Irish as well as in English, you'll find it difficult enough outside of the universities and folk gatherings to find people who speak much Irish in Ireland's capital city. As I've mentioned before, there is no Gaeltacht Irish-speaking area in Dublin, though you will find a small one in West Belfast, though the others are in the west and south. People who originate from outside of Dublin are often referred to as culchies, a word similar in meaning to the English yokel. Dublin also has two accents. The main one is found all over the city and is very easily understood, resulting in the Spanish government sending students there every summer to improve their English. The other real Dub accent is found in inner city working class areas like the Liberties and Ballymum, Ballyfermot, and is quite a thick accent, hard for visitors to grasp. Think of the band The Dubliners, for example. In Ireland we tend to soften our speech quite a bit. Where other nationalities might bluntly say, "Give me some help please," we would say something like, "You wouldn't give us a wee hand there, would you?" In Dublin they might say, "Would you ever give us a hand there?" Even swearing in polite Dublin circles is often toned down to Janey Mac, presumably an abbreviation for the Holy Family. I once asked a group of friends in Dublin, "Well, who is Janey Mac anyway?" While they don't tend to say we instead of little, like we do in the north here and in Scotland, Dubliners use words and phrases that are unfamiliar to us. Children are often told not to be bold, meaning naughty. You'll hear parents screaming, "Come here, you bold child, you." They'll often punctuate your telling of an anecdote with "stop," which means the exact opposite. Or like, "I don't believe you, tell me more." And at the end of your story they might comment, "That's gas, that is." Dubliners love to give nicknames to statues and sculptures in the city. The Aoibhneas statue on O'Connell Street, which features a lady in running water, is referred to as the floozy and the jacuzzi. The Inland Waterways headquarters, a rectangular building suspended over a canal base, is known as the Box on the Docks. But the new stainless steel Dublin Spire, also on O'Connell Street, has received many titles, including, among others, the Spike, the Binge Syringe, the Stiletto in the Ghetto, and the Rod to God. This is on Roos in California, USA, with the traditional English hornpipe called Jacky.
Left his possessions and family behind. far away. He wanted his children to see County Antrim and look up his hills far away. Think of the father who left his own country. He said he would come back someday. My children of the man from Ireland and the family that came in between. I wonder if they understand what has happened in a land that they still haven't seen. Seems I can't do much about ancient injustice and the power that politics plays. Feeling an urge to return to the country and the land where my ancestors stayed. Now I want my children to see County Antrim and look up the hills far away. Think of the old man who left his own country and said he would come back someday. And he wanted his children to see County Antrim.
That was a song called County Antrim from Larry Maconaghy, who, of all places, is based in Denmark. We're going to finish now with a Scots Gaelic song from Fiona J. Mackenzie in Scotland. This is Aoibhneas Moire Mhin, or Cape Breton Carol. Take it easy now. Slam.
Vi feiken eller hos noen and Arne Aoibhneas would have agent what a ving Beshin and Aoibhneas more Aoibhneas a hoody bohan va goesal vi meska karsten and tres Aoibhneas would have agent what a ving Beshin and Aoibhneas more Aoibhneas a hoody bohan va goesal vi krøynge tan bochro and Kerv Aoibhneas would have agent what a ving Beshin and Aoibhneas more Aoibhneas a hoody bohan va goesal vi bochag treken and Coik of Aoibhneas would have agent what a ving Beshin and Aoibhneas more Aoibhneas a hoody bohan va goesal vi na mahar doch wan and Shev Aoibhneas would have agent what a ving Beshin and Aoibhneas more Aoibhneas a hoody bohan va goesal vi tor sheet on and Shach of Aoibhneas would have agent what a ving Beshin and Aoibhneas more Aoibhneas
Well, that's all we have time for on this show. Remember, you can find out more information about the artists and songs played on the show on our website at CelticRootsRadio.com. And if you're an independent artist and you'd like to hear your music played on this show, again, you'll find details on our website. That's CelticRootsRadio.com. Tune in again next week to Celtic Roots Radio. I'm Raymond McCullough, coming to you from Ireland. Slán agus Maconaghy.